Hi, my name is Joey. Or Wiley Joseph Dollinger the third. My friends call me Joey. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions or any remarks, anything you want to discuss or know more about, have some resources for anything, please say so in the comments. I want to discuss this new understanding that is available to for the first time to humanity. This esoteric knowledge and doctrine, the secret occult teaching that has existed in mystery schools of initiates and fraternities and brotherhoods to avoid persecution and annihilation, eradication. So we are the first generation of humanity to have available this esoteric and occult understanding and teaching. And so it's relevant to each individual. It's an absolutely liberating understanding that allows us to assert responsibility for our well-being, our feelings, and the way that we feel. So part of it is to understand that the subconscious self, the higher self, and connection with, because we are, as human beings, we are the highest expression of divine creation. And so this understanding has to do with acknowledging that we are actually an infinite state of awareness. We are not our thoughts, we are not our bodies, we're not our names, we're not our emotions, we're not our memories. We are aware of all of those things. And the future and the past exist only as constructs in our understanding, but that exactly now is the only moment that is ever actually real. So to understand that we are an infinite state of awareness, part of that is to learn to concentrate just on one single thing and to silence our mind. And in modern society, it proves to be a real task for most people and take a lot of practice, and it did for me. But it's an absolutely exhilarating, liberating experience to acknowledge the higher self and experience that and learn to fluently embody and communicate and acknowledge that aspect of ourself. And so one part of it is an understanding of good and evil. So they appear and sound like opposites, but in fact they are two measurements of the same exact thing. Just like hot and cold or love and hate, they're relative to each individual perspective. So why do bad things happen to good or bad people? Why do bad things happen? It's only bad because you perceive it to be bad. From your perspective, it's bad. The way that you see it, your point of view, it's bad. But to someone else, it may not be bad. It may even be good to someone who sees it from a different point of view. So why do bad things happen? Because you perceive the things that happen to be bad. And if you change your perception, your perspective, your point of view, your way of looking at it, you can learn to perceive it as not bad. Okay, and so this is polarity, that good and bad are instantiations, individual observations, the polar instances or individual measurements of the same thing, the same underlying thing. So as hot and cold, these aren't opposites, they're two instances of the same exact thing, and they're relative. If I say it's hot, someone else could think that it's cold. And this is why there's warm, which is so, fluctuates to relative position and relative observation. there's an underlying unity that connects them. They are the same exact thing. And this understanding of the law of polarity and our perception, the observer effect, because of wave-particle duality, a photon could be a particle or a wave with interference patterns depending on if it's observed, if it's measured, the observer effect. And so what we perceive, what we observe, so as human beings, we navigate throughout this objectionable reality, and we have a perception, a perspective. We focus our attention on objects. Now, when we observe an object outside of ourselves, that establishes a relationship to that object. Okay, our observation becomes our belief. When we believe what we see, so we either have faith or doubt in our beliefs are either faith or doubt. We believe that it happened or will happen or is true, otherwise we do not. And that is our choice for each individual. And again, it's relative, because what I perceive or observe and perceive to be bad, someone who sees it from a different perspective could say that it's good, and so it's relative. And so good and bad are just instantiations of the same thing. Hot and cold. That's why there's no exact temperature. It's relative and fluctuates. They're not opposites. They're two measurements of the same thing. They're two instantiations of the same thing. They're two observations of the same thing. They are two perceptions of one underlying unity. And so duality is the second dimension. Consciousness is all that exists. Consciousness has split itself apart to experience itself subjectively. And that's what each individual human being is, an infinite awareness, individualized, so that we can develop our own identity. And this esoteric spiritual science that was really inaugurated with the Theosophical Society and Rudolf Steiner and Madame H.P. Blavatsky and the spiritual metaphysical movement, this new understanding of psychology and phenomena. And so now remote viewing and NDEs and reincarnation and deja vu and telekinesis and all these phenomena, these spirits and ghosts and UFOs and extraterrestrial life. And all of these things are kind of culminating to a new understanding in our human origin stories, going back to Göbekli Tepe in 10,500 BC, the pre-Diluvian knowledge and civilizations, Atlantis, Lemuria, and Mu, and the Younger Dryas event and the last ice age, and the evolution of intelligence with Anatolia and Turkey, the grains, or Mesopotamia and the Anunnaki and Anunez, when humans already had advanced hierarchical religious systems, advanced hierarchical military systems, economy, architecture, agriculture, mathematics, astronomy, all of these things. Obviously, there was a knowledge that persisted from pre-Diluvian, pre-Adamite civilizations. Although modern humanity is intelligent, there is no question about that. And so our exclusive experience, part of our journey has been figuring that out. And so because the theory of knowledge, logic, reason, semantics, linguistics, all of these things are, we can have knowledge from all of humanity for a priori or deduction, and so that we advance, because that knowledge knows much more than one single individual is capable of. And so this new understanding emerging in spiritual science is just an awesome time to be alive, and I look forward to discussing it further and connecting and networking with other people who are interested or have been doing the same thing. So